All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Um, so a bit of housekeeping before I get into today's training. If you can hear me, please signal, and then I'm hoping that maybe Katie or Carol can let me know. I'm working with a single screen, so I'm not able to see what's happening on screen or in the chat. So I guess I'll have to work with someone communicating with me indirectly for the meantime. With that said, I'm really excited to be here. I've been planning for this for the past couple of weeks. It's Youth Month, and I really wanted to do something exciting and beneficial for the youth of Jamaica. All right, so a bit of background about me and what I'll be doing today. My name is Kirk Buchanan, as you are already aware, of course. I am an e-commerce business coach and entrepreneur. Got started in the e-commerce space back in 2014 when me and my business partner and friend created uh, a brand and business by the name of Crazy Socks, which did pretty well in Jamaica. Um, Up until a couple of years ago when I transitioned into being a full-time business coach, allowing Crazy Socks to be run by my friends, business partners, etc. So today, what I'm going to be talking about and sharing with you is a step-by-step approach on how to actually start your own e-commerce business. At the end of this presentation, it is my objective for you to know everything that you'd possibly need in order to get started immediately. So I have years of experience, as you can imagine, based on what I just said. And also, I am an avid reader, so I read a lot about what's happening in the space, and I study e-commerce in depth. So I have no doubt that at the end of today's session, you'll have a lot of information at your fingertips that you can use and implement immediately to get your own e-commerce business up and running. If you want to learn more about me and my businesses and my e-commerce journey, you can find more information at this link. This entire presentation will be shared with every single person in attendance, so you don't have to worry about taking notes, but I do want you to listen and pay very close attention because a lot will be covered in the next 60 minutes. All right, so what's the agenda? Basically, we just have 60 minutes. So I have four main things that I want to cover here. And I think this will give you a pretty good understanding of how to start your own e-commerce business and what e-commerce is about. So the first thing that I will be going over is why you should actually start an e-commerce business. I'm estimating that that should take about 10 minutes. Then I'm going to deep dive into how to start an e-commerce business step by step. So I'm going to talk about 5 key things that every single e-commerce business needs. And then, of course, I'm going to be throwing some things here and there so you know exactly what you need to do on the back end as well to support your e-commerce startup. Then I'm going to talk about how to market your e-commerce business. I'm a marketer by training. That's what I studied at university, even though I didn't work directly in marketing in corporate. I worked as a business analyst and also as a data scientist. But I have a lot of marketing knowledge and background as well, coupled with my data analytics background. I think that sets me apart as a growth marketer in the industry. And then, of course, I want to set some time aside for Q&A where you get to ask me anything about e-commerce. And I'm estimating that we can take about 10 minutes to do that. And of course, I do have a giveaway for you guys. I'm going to be giving away an entire e-commerce shop to one lucky winner that is fully funded for a year. This e-commerce shop will come with integrated payment gateway. So the only thing that you would need to do is to link your business bank account, and add your products that you will be selling, etc. Get your store customized how you want it, which can all be done by the Amber Group, who is basically who I partnered with to be able to offer this to you. So why start e-commerce? So the first thing that I really want to talk about with you is that e-commerce is a growing industry. On screen, what you're looking at is the growth trend of e-commerce from 2014 all the way through to 2024. Of course, we're still in 2021, so everything as of now, going through to 2024, is a projected growth. But what I want you to really pay close attention to here is this segment here between 2019 and 2020, where we saw the biggest year-over-year growth in the e-commerce space globally. So 1.34 billion US dollars is the combined total sales of e-commerce across the world in 2014. And by 2020, that had increased to 4.28 billion. And this year, we're looking to do about 4.89 billion US dollars in e-commerce sales globally. So for the 10-year running from 2014 to 2024, we're looking at a 377% increase in e-commerce globally. So what does that mean for you, and why should you care? It means that the industry is growing at a phenomenal rate, right? Outside of cryptocurrencies, this is the fastest growing industry globally. So there's a lot of opportunity in the e-commerce space, which means that you should be taking advantage of e-commerce. And it doesn't matter if you have an existing business or if you're just starting your business, e-commerce will be beneficial for you and it will continue to grow. And as someone who is in the space, I know for a fact that even businesses that have brick and mortar setups are a bit hesitant to transition into the e-commerce space, even when it's very easy for them to do. So that even leaves more room, more opportunities for newcomers into the space to be able to get set up, get started, and start profiting immediately. So this is a lot of money, guys, right? $6.39 billion by 2024. However, this is just a drop in the bucket when you compare it to what the global retail trade is. This is roughly just about 15% of all the money that is spent globally in retail. So what does that mean? It means that as we move forward, a lot more money will be spent in the e-commerce space, right? So that 85% that is still spent in brick and mortar, a lot of it will be transitioned into the e-commerce space, which just lends to more opportunities for people to get started and to profit from it. So as the layman, right, the layperson, we look on Instagram, we see a lot of e-commerce businesses, a lot of people selling different stuff. And we think to ourselves in most cases, and this is based on me asking a lot of questions from different clients and people that I've interacted with, what they think of the e-commerce market now. And most people tend to think that e-commerce is saturated. But when you look at these numbers, and being a data analyst by trade, I have to pay attention to the numbers, and that is what I recommend for you as well. Pay attention to the numbers, and when you look at these numbers, you realize that e-commerce is really wide open for every single person who wants to get into the field right now to benefit and to have the ability to start a good, profitable business in this space. So next year, 2022, we're looking to move from 4.89 billion to 5.42 billion. So that's significant opportunity for existing businesses and new businesses to cash in on that difference between those 2 years, 2021 and 2022. And as your business grows and develops, it just opens up more opportunities for you to profit. So let's talk a bit about digital infrastructure, right? This is also one of the core reasons why you should consider starting an e-commerce business now as well. So in Jamaica, these data points that I'm referencing here is specific for Jamaica. These are from the United Nations and also from Statista, which is a globally recognized data analytics company. So these data points are pretty accurate and can be used to make great justifications for your business and for your plans going forward. So as of January 2021, which was 10, 11 months ago, we're almost at the end of the year, there were 1.63 million internet users in Jamaica. So what does that mean? It means that the market is there. The people are on the internet, and that is what e-commerce is built on, the internet. 56.5% of Jamaica's population live in urban centers. What does that mean in the space of e-commerce? It means that these people are easily accessible, right? They live in urban centers where shipping is available, where you can easily get your products to these people right across the country, which is great news. 1.5 million Jamaicans use social media. That's more than half of the country. And when you factor out people who are, over 65 that don't necessarily use social media a lot, and a lot of people under, say, 15, you realize that this is most of the people between the ages of, say, 16 and 64. These are the people that have money to spend and are likely to do business online, right? So you have a lot of customers that you can potentially profit from in Jamaica via the social media platforms that you'll be using for your advertising. The number of social media users in Jamaica increased by 200,000 between 2021 and 2020. That's a lot of new people on social media in 1 year. So it means that your customer base is increasing across social media as well, which means that you have a lot more people that you could potentially sell your products to. So that's great news. There are 3.1 million mobile connections in Jamaica, right? By this time, the end of 2021, I'm pretty sure that this is closer to 3.3 million because we continue to get new mobile devices every single day. I myself have about 4 different mobile devices that are all connected to the internet simultaneously. So, of course, it means that most people have multiple mobile devices that are connected to the internet. So people are just continuously online, always online. So why not benefit from this continuous connectedness of Jamaicans, right? By getting into the e-commerce space and using digital platforms to market your products and services and grow your business. So as I mentioned, most people have multiple devices, hence why we have 104.3% of the population connected via mobile devices. Next reason why you should start e-commerce is that Jamaica is really good, pretty good, better than a lot of people expect when it comes to distribution and shipping. And we have a lot of different shipping companies in Jamaica, but as it relates to cross-country shipping, 2 of the main people that I would reference is Knutsford Express and Zipmail. So you do have the ابIlity to ship your products to every corner of Jamaica when you're in the e-commerce space. What you're seeing on screen, these are all of the Knutsford Express depots where you can actually utilize your courier services. So if you operate a business from Kingston, you can ship to almost anywhere in Jamaica via Knutsford Express. And if Knutsford Express doesn't cut it for you, you can always use Zipmail, which is basically Jamaica Post that ships to post office. One of the areas, though, where Jamaica struggles in terms of distribution is the last mile. In the corporate area or in the cities, last mile is not really a problem, but when you go to more rural communities, you realize that last mile becomes an issue. But hopefully in the near future, that also gets rectified. I do know that a lot of different courier services are popping up in every city right across Jamaica. And that will kind of help us to alleviate the issues and challenges that are present as it relates to last mile shipping in Jamaica. But we do have a good distribution network, primarily to some of the main cities, the main towns across Jamaica. So shipping and distribution should not really be an issue or a deterrent for you to not get into the e-commerce space, because you do have options to get your products out to the people that you're selling. I personally use both Knutsford Express, or used, since I'm not actively doing e-commerce now, but I'm more of a coach, and I always encourage people to use this. The pricing is similar between Knutsford Express and Zipmail. I think you pay like 650 Jamaican dollars up to £10 to ship to anywhere in the country, which is not bad. It's pretty reasonable. And when you're doing e-commerce, you have ways of, recovering that shipping cost. You can factor it into your price, or you let your customers pay for shipping, which in most cases they will gladly do based on experience as well. So we do have some areas in Jamaica that we do need more coverage, perhaps from Knutsford, and also even from Zip Mail. Like when you look to the east, St. Thomas, those areas don't really have coverage there from Knutsford, or even in the south, Clarendon, Treasure Beach areas. But we do have Jamaica Post, and they do deliver to the post offices in these areas. So distribution should not be an issue. If you do decide to start your e-commerce business, which I'm really hoping that you do once you have completed this workshop. So how does one start an e-commerce business? This is the exciting part. I'm sure this is why most of you are here. How can I get started today or tomorrow? So this is my 5-step framework for getting your e-commerce business started. Of course, there will be intricacies on other stuff that you'll have to figure out, but this is the core of what you will need to fully understand to start an e-commerce business that will be profitable for you in the near term and also in the long term. So firstly, you want to make sure that you find a niche, right? You have to be able to answer the questions, who are you going to serve and why? And you have to get really specific. So most people, when they hear about finding a niche, they don't really understand. If you ask yourself this question and you can answer it specifically, then you are well on your way to understanding what niche you should get into. Who are you trying to serve and why? Then you want to make sure that you identify a problem. Too many people start businesses that doesn't solve a problem, right? If you start a business that doesn't solve a problem for your potential customers, then you're going to have issues making money from your business, because nobody is going to buy a product that doesn't solve a problem for them. All right. So you want to identify the problem. What are people saying that they want but cannot get? Right? If you can identify that thing or things, and you can then move to the third point, which is to provide the solution to that problem, then you can definitely make money. As I've always said, if it's $1 million problem, it will make you $1 million. If it's $100 million problem, it will make you $100 million. So you have to evaluate the problem, evaluate how much money is in that space, and that will kind of give you an idea as to how much money you can make. So number 1, find a niche. Number 2, identify the problem. Number 3, find a solution to the problem. Now, in the e-commerce space, and we're talking about physical products here, you can either do one of two things. You can create a product that solves a problem, or you can source the product that solves the problem. Either works great, right? But for this workshop demonstration tutorial, I'm going to be talking about specifically creating a product primarily, but I'm also going to be showing you how you can source a product if you would rather go that route. Then of course you need a platform, right? You need a store somewhere where people can go and buy the products that you're selling. So you have to set up your online store with payment gateway. So to make it easy for people to see what you're selling, to be able to review your catalogs, and also to be able to check out and to pay for what you're selling. And then of course, number 5, which is probably one of the most important but neglected pieces of starting any business, is the marketing. And I'm going to be keeping it simple for this workshop presentation. If you're starting an e-commerce business, and based on the data points which I shared earlier about what's happening in the social media space, you just need to think about and focus on creating and distributing content, right? This is how you create awareness in the modern digital world. And you know, Jamaica is all about digital transformation. Now, create and distribute content and share how your product benefits the audience. If you do this and you do this consistently, and you back it up with some paid media, then you don't have to think about a lot of the other marketing concepts that are out there. Of course, If you can and if you have the bandwidth to be able to focus on other stuff, of course, do it. But if you're only able to do one main thing as it relates to marketing, you should be focusing on creating and distributing content around the product that you're selling. Of course, there are some more stuff that you have to consider. I do know that some of you may already have businesses and some may be new, and that's why I have it here as a PS. But you want to make sure that you have a business bank account. Without a business bank account, you're not going to be able to, set up a payment gateway on your website to be able to collect payments. And this is pretty easy to do in Jamaica. Jamaica is ranked pretty high when it comes to ease of doing business. So getting your business registered and getting your TCC and opening a business bank account is pretty easy to do in Jamaica. I know First Global Bank currently has a great deal where you can open a business bank account for, I think, $1,000. That is unheard of, right? So you can open a business bank account pretty inexpensively with First Global Bank once you have your business registered and whatever else paperwork is required. But you do need that to be able to accept payments on your website, which I'm going to talk about soon. Okay, so let's deep dive a bit into finding your niche, right? So think about something that many people want that you can supply. It helps if you have a passion for it, but passion is not a requirement. I hear a lot of people talk about, find something you're passionate about, do something you're passionate about. Nobody cares about your passion, only you. The reason why passion is important is because passion can motivate you when you're feeling down, when you feel like giving up. Right? That's the purpose that passion serves. But nobody cares about your passion. Not because you're passionate about thick water means that people are going to buy thick water, right? You want to find something that many people want that you can supply. So here are some niche ideas, right? And this is just a very sub list, a short list, right? There are lots of different sub-segments or market segments that you can serve. A lot of people get caught up into this. I say just pick one, right, and move on. Skincare, hair care, personal care, pets, fashion, swimwear, art, cooking, entertainment, education. There are so many different ideas and niche, and don't ever think that a niche is oversaturated. That is how a lot of people get stuck and never move forward. It may be oversaturated for other people, but if you get into the space and you differentiate yourself, then it's not oversaturated because you are you and you're doing things your way, a unique way, which means you're the only player in that space. So these are just some niche ideas. I'm going to be sharing this presentation, as I mentioned earlier. So if you want to get into any of these niche, then you don't necessarily need to take notes. You can refer back to this slide once I share it with you. I'm going to be talking about some practical examples going forward, and I'm going to be picking from one of these niche, and I'm going to be deep diving about creating or finding the product in that niche. So you have practical information that you can take away from this presentation that you can use to start your own e-commerce business, all right? Because that's the whole aim of this, not to give you theory, to show you exactly how you can get yours started. Identifying the problem. So for the example, I'm going to be picking personal hygiene, right? So let's say we've decided to get into the personal hygiene niche, and we have decided to start selling handmade soap, for example. That's the idea I'm going with. And you can steal this idea if you so desire. You love handmade soaps, right? But you realize that the ones that are currently on the market are boring, right? They could be boring for several different reasons. Maybe they have limited designs. Everybody makes square handmade soaps. Perhaps they have limited fragrances. Everybody uses the same scents. There are so many different things that you could identify with handmade soaps that you could, that potentially is a problem for people who are into handmade soaps that you could actually solve. So you've identified the problem. It could be any of what I just mentioned before, the fragrances, the limited designs, or the oils that is used. Perhaps most of the handmade soaps on the market uses coconut oils, right? For most people, coconut oils dries the skin. So you may want to use some vegetable oils, or you may want to use canola oils, etc. Identify a problem, right? You can also do this by asking questions. If you do decide to get into the handmade soap market, Ask questions, put some polls out on social media, ask people what are their biggest gripes with handmade soaps. If you know people who love handmade soaps, you can ask them directly, what would you want to see different with handmade soaps? What's your gripe? What do you hate about it? And then that is, you know, identifying the problem. And from that, you can now create the solution to the problem. So the problem can be anything that people complain about. It's never too small. Most people may think that, hey, a limited design store and handmade soaps is not really a problem, but it may be a problem for a lot of people. And that is why research is also very important. And you can do this for free on most social media platforms by, you know, with polls, etc. Highly recommended that you do this. All right, so the solution to the problem. So we've decided to go with, as I mentioned before, handmade soaps, and we've decided to differentiate by making different designs and getting unique fragrances, and also using different oils. Now, how do you go about making the handmade soaps and incorporating all of those things that we mentioned earlier? Well, of course, you want to find out how you can make these. Perhaps you have the expertise, but now you need to find out where you can source the new ingredients that you need to make your handmade soap, so you can solve the problems that people is having. So with the handmade soap example, you could use this website here, this business. It's a local business, all right? Earth's Core Jamaica, where you can source almost every single thing that you need to create handmade soaps, right? And as a part of this workshop, of course, I'm going to click on the link so we can go to the website and just take a look around. So you're getting maximum value here. So let's say I was doing skincare. Let's see, it's probably under here somewhere. Raw materials, there you go. Soap making supplies. You can go here and find your soap making supplies. You can find the oils that are used to make soaps. You can find fragrances. You can find a lot of different additives to go into your soaps on this website, and they're pretty reasonable. I do know handmade soap makers right here in Jamaica that uses them for their primary suppliers. But once again, as I mentioned, if you want to differentiate yourself, you may have to find another supplier that you'll be able to find different fragrances from, because once again, as we mentioned before, the problem may be that most people complain of all of these handmade soaps having the same fragrances. So it means that you may have to try to source fragrances from elsewhere. You can do this locally, or you can start looking outside of Jamaica to source fragrances to add to your handmade soaps. All right, and I'm going to show you who some of those suppliers may be as well. AliExpress, you can find almost anything you need for any business on this website here. And as I mentioned before, if fragrances or anything, let's say you wanted to change the design of the soap, you can find the molds on AliExpress or even on Alibaba. So you can use that to solve the problem that people are having. All right, so these websites are very easy to use. I'm really hoping that you're seeing it. But let's say we wanted to find soap molds, right? Because you wanted to change the design of the handmade soaps. You go to Alibaba, you can find hundreds, even thousands of suppliers sometimes that have the molds that you do need, where you can incorporate your own designs and logos, so you can make unique soaps that nobody else will have on the market, right? So Alibaba and AliExpress are two of my personal favorite for suppliers internationally, and I think for a lot of people who are in this space. But as I mentioned before, you do also have suppliers locally that you can leverage, and which I gave you just now. All right, so at this point in time, we've talked about, you know, the 5 core things: finding the niche, identifying the problem, finding the solution. Now let's talk about, you know, getting the website or your e-commerce store set up. And for this, I have a pre-recorded video that I want you to watch. It's just 5 minutes long, and it's going to give you a full rundown of how to get your own e-commerce store set up right here locally in Jamaica very easily. Of course, as I mentioned before, you'll need to have your own business bank account, but everything else will be done for you. And even if you don't know how to customize a store, if you don't want to take on that challenge, Amber Group, Amber Pay, they have people on board that can help you to solve that problem. All right, so let's take a couple of minutes just to watch exactly how we can go ahead and get our own e-commerce business set up.
Hi, Kirk. We are not hearing anything.
You're not hearing?
It's extremely low, the audio. Is the audio up on your
Yes, it is.
yeah, it's
But okay, I wish
is
you
it
had told me
a,
earlier, but no problem. So
yes,
as I
I'm sorry,
mentioned,
I
I'm
just
going to be
realized.
sharing
Is this a
the
YouTube? Is
presentation
this
with
a
everyone.
YouTube video?
Sorry?
Was that a YouTube video?
No, it's not. It's in the presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, man, it's in the presentation. Um, so you'll be able to watch it because I'm going to be sharing the presentation with everyone, right? So you have access to all of the links and the resources and stuff that I mentioned. So you'll also be able to watch this video subsequently. But to give you a quick rundown of what it is, I'm sure you've seen the logo and stuff, even if you were not able to hear it. So Amber Group is a local software company, right? They have been doing a lot of work for the government. This is the group that created the COVID app for the government. So they've been doing a lot of work in Jamaica, and they recently launched the Amber e-stores and the Amber Pay services, right? So now, as Jamaicans locally, we now have something that is comparable to, say, a Shopify. This last year or 2 years ago was a need in the market, right? When I was running my own Shopify business, own e-commerce store, I have always been asking for a solution like this that would be uh, local to Jamaica, where you could easily collect payments and the money goes directly to your bank account. Because when you're doing this with international companies, always have challenges getting paid and getting the money to your account. So it's really refreshing to see something like this locally. You don't even need a website, right? So let's say you're just getting started, you don't have the money, you don't want to have to deal with a website, you just want to sell directly from Instagram and to be able to send a link to people where they can pay. They also have that option, right? You can share a QR code, you can share a link, you can share it via WhatsApp, share it via email, and allow people to pay and check out that way. So it's very flexible and very good, and I see where it's going to solve a lot of problems for a lot of people. But as I mentioned before, once you get this presentation, the link is there. You can visit the website, you can rewatch the video, and reach out to them and ask them any questions you want about e-commerce, because they're really active in terms of email and reaching out and getting back to people. All right. So really sorry that you couldn't hear it. But as I mentioned, you'll be able to consume it subsequently. So now, once you have everything, you have your product, you have your website set up, you know who you're selling to, you know what you're selling, you know what the market wants and needs. You have to talk about marketing. So as I mentioned before, this is where a lot of people struggle as it relates to business in Jamaica. For two reasons. There is this misconception that marketing is not really necessary in businesses. And you'll find this from even the smallest business to the largest corporation in Jamaica. Most companies locally don't give marketing the credit that it deserves. Hence, most people don't deep dive and try to learn and understand the importance of marketing in a business. In the e-commerce space, marketing is 90% of your business, because once you have your product set up and you have your website set up, the only thing that's gonna make or break your business is how well you market that business. All right. So here's what I want you to do. You have to focus on digital marketing in the e-commerce space. Going back to the numbers that I referenced earlier, how many Jamaicans are on social media, how many people are connected to the internet daily. It would be nonsensical to not be using digital marketing and social media to push your e-commerce business. After all, it's e-commerce, it's all online, it's all on your mobile, it's on your laptop, right? So you have to be using digital marketing, which means you have to learn social media marketing and search engine marketing. How do you go about using social media marketing and search engine marketing to market your e-commerce business? Number one, as I mentioned before, it's about creating and publishing high quality content. All right. It's as simple as that. That's the first and main step in marketing your e-commerce business. And I'm going to be sharing some examples shortly as to small e-commerce businesses locally that are doing this perfectly well, right? The second thing that I want to talk a bit about is leveraging influencers to help with reach, right? Influencer marketing is a growing industry. And the reason why it's growing is because businesses realize that it works. So the return on investment when you use influencers, especially good quality influencers, is great. And businesses are investing a lot more into influencer marketing. Influencer marketing solves two core problems. It allows you to tap into other people's audiences easily, and it also serves as social proof to business owners. Because when influencers use your product and promote your product on their social media online, that is social proof that your product is good, right? Good influencers, that is. You can also use influencers to do product reviews. I'm sure a lot of you guys, before you go and you buy your fancy electronics on Amazon, you go to YouTube and you look up those product reviews and you want to hear about all the facts about that product and whether or not it works. And you use whatever those influencers or YouTubers says about the product as gospel, as something that you use to make your buying decisions. So that's just a couple of easy examples, but you want to leverage influencer marketing in your social media and search engine campaigns if you want to get good results. Number three, user-generated content, right? So what is user-generated content? User-generated content, a lot of people confuse it with influencer marketing, but this is basically where you use your past customers to create content for you that you can then republish on your social media or your website, and you boost that with some ads or whatever it is so you can get more reach around it. But ultimately what you're trying to do is to get customers, get other people, the layman, to create content about your product that you can then use and distribute on your platforms. It works great, similar to the influencer marketing. It's great for social proof, and it's just a way for you to put out more content without you having to create the content for yourself. You want to invest into paid advertising. Running ads on social media is one of the easiest things to do. Once you have a business page on Instagram, for example, and you make a post, one of the biggest buttons beside your post is a button that says boost post. This is the easiest way to advertise on social. It's not the only way, but for people who don't want to deep dive into understanding how Facebook ads work, you can use the boost post function. It still works great. You can set your targeting, you set your daily budgets, and you get great reach from that. So I don't even need to demonstrate to you how to do that. It's so easy, and the social media platforms make it super easy because they want more people to spend money on advertising because that's how they make money. But the truth and the fact is the return on investment from paid ads on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube is great. I'm talking about 10 times to 1, 12 times to 1, depending on what you're promoting, of course. So it's great if you do it well. So you want to make sure that you're investing in paid advertising. And people who are in this space know that organic reach is basically dead. It's dead for sure on Facebook. It's dying on Instagram. And it's dying on YouTube. Perhaps one of the only places where you can get great organic reach for your products, for your business now, is on TikTok. So if you're into that, then you want to start creating and publishing a lot of content there. But if you're creating and publishing content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of these other platforms, you have to consider investing in paid advertising if you want to get the reach that you want, and if you want to see your business grow faster than it would if you did not invest in paid ads. Hosting giveaways is also a great way for you to market your e-commerce business online. People love giveaways, and giveaways generate so much engagement. So it's a great way for you to get a lot of new people in the top of your funnel. And when I talk about top of your funnel, I mean the awareness segment of your funnel, where you're just getting people to know about your business, to learn about your business, what your business provides, what problem your business solves. So I always recommend hosting giveaways if you can. People love that, love giveaways. Just the mere fact that they can win something by not doing much excites a lot of people, and it generates a lot of engagement there on social media. So you want to incorporate that into your e-commerce business as well, if you want want it to do well. Now I'm getting into a little bit more of the science behind marketing, talking about marketing psychology. So marketing and selling has a lot to do with how persuasive you are as a marketer or as a business owner. So it therefore means that it is one of the most crucial, critical things that business owners must learn, even the core, the basics, right? Even learning the basics can go a very far way in helping you to market your business and to reach more customers. There are 6 core marketing psychology principles that I always refer to and recommend that people get a full understanding of. I have created a 60-minute course about it. I'm not pitching that you go and buy the course if you can't afford it or whatever it is, but I cover all of these 6 core things in my course. You can find it on my website, but I've made mention to one just now, which is social proof. You can use authority in your marketing. It have great, powerful psychological effects. You can use, reciprocity. These are just some of the things that you want to learn about marketing psychology to help you to use that in your marketing to persuade more people to buy into your idea, your products. And of course, number 7 is the big one, and this is where most people struggle. Right? I've been doing this for 7-8 years now, and I've consulted with a lot of people. And where most people struggle is with the consistency of creating and publishing high quality content, the consistency of advertising, the consistency of hosting giveaways, the consistency of just doing marketing in general is where most people falter, and why their businesses suffer. They don't make sales, and the worst happen where they go out of business. So you have to be very consistent. There's this old saying, one of the oldest saying in marketing: out of sight, out of mind. It's absolutely true. And even more so now with social media, with everyone creating and publishing content, you have to be active. You have to be out there, right? You have to be consistent in order for you to be top of mind whenever someone is looking for the product that you are offering to the market. So consistency probably should be number 1 on this list, but you have to make sure that you're marketing consistently. You're doing all of these things. Do them consistently if you want to see the results that you are expecting from your marketing campaigns. Now, I've worked with a lot of businesses locally, internationally, right? According to my YouTube statistics, I have reached 1.6 million people globally with my content on YouTube. And I've personally helped directly talking one-on-one to over 200 businesses, plus people that have helped indirectly. So some of these businesses are businesses that have helped with their marketing. We have either done consultations, or people have reached out to me to say, hey, your content has helped me, etc. So these are just some of the local small e-commerce businesses that you can look at to see how they do marketing, in terms of how they create high quality content, to how they boost their posts, how they promote, how they use influencers in their content to help them to market their business. And these businesses are doing well. At least 2 of these businesses are doing very well for themselves. And this is what they have fed back to me. All right. So just wanted to kind of give you an idea as to how you'd want to market your e-commerce business. Now, this is an e-commerce business that my friend here, Denise, started, I think last year, probably, where she imports. So she's not creating these products, she's sourcing them, but she imports these products from right across the world, right? So that's the whole nature of this business, hence the name. It's called Globe, right? So she sourced products from every country, Africa, uh, every country in Africa, countries in Europe. For example, you see some things here from Turkey, and just the quality of the content that she puts out is just really high quality. So she gets really good engagement. People share the content because people are happy to share high quality stuff that makes them look good themselves. So you want to start looking at some of these businesses to see what they're doing and try to replicate it. And it doesn't cost a lot to create great quality content. Most people have really good smartphones. In most cases, all you need is some light, right? So you can take better images, create better videos, and create and publish quality content around your e-commerce business. And trust me, it sounds basic, which it is, but it's one of the most important things you can do in your e-commerce business to help you to reach more people and generate more sales. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to speed up just a bit because I do believe perhaps this is the last slide, not sure. Let's look at Morgan's Creek, one of my favorite small businesses right now in Jamaica as it relates to personal care products. You can just look at how they create content. They publish consistently. They create high quality stuff. Most of this is done in-house, right? So if you speak to Morgan's Creek, they will tell you that they take most of the images themselves. They're done in the house, they're done at home, and they're done at their offices in Sovereign as well. But just the quality of the content just speaks high quality stuff. So it makes you want to engage with them. It makes you want to buy the product, right? They do partner with influencers. They do advertise. They do all of the things that I mentioned in the previous slide. Hence why they're doing very well, and they do continue to grow as well. Since I'm running out of time, I'm not going to click on the skin shop, but just wanted to give you an idea as to some of the small e-commerce businesses that are doing it well.